Slam Sector contains levels of brain rot that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Click! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Slam Sector After Dark. Sean, you look like you really need a Red Bull.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't, and then fucking everything that could hit the fan did. So
It's true.
I just had to like reset everything.
Everyone was having some technical difficulties today, but we got there. And we're here to talk about James Workshop breaking into my house and leaving me gifts. And you know, maybe we'll talk about the parts that weren't gifts at the end of the stream, namely the balanced data slate. Because as someone actively building a sister's army, it hurt. So, but the first thing we're going to talk about is the Grotmas detachments that have been coming out. The final one came out today, which was the Saga of the Great Wolf. So we're going to be talking about them in release order. But before we get too far into it, I would like to encourage you all to like the stream. Maybe consider subscribing. It's a great way to support what we do here. Consider joining as a channel member so you can vote on our future matchups, including things like Inquisition Month, which is coming next month, and it'll be a great time. And yeah, maybe hop in the Discord and show off your cool painted models.
Let us see what you're working on.
Yeah.
Or not.
Or not. You don't have to do that.
You don't have to. We don't come into your house and make you take a picture of.
I might. No promises.
Okay. Yeah, we slip in when you're not watching and take pictures for ourselves.
Yeah. I can't promise anything.
JK.
Yeah. What are you boys ready to get going? Cool.
I'm ready.
So, the first one that we have to talk about is the Grizzled Company for the Astra Militarum.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the first one that they released. This one is pretty cool. +1 to all of your orders. All of your officers basically get an extra order. And while your units are under the effect of an order, they can reroll hit rolls of 1. And if your target is on an objective, reroll wounds of 1 as well. Very simple, straightforward detachment rule here. I picked out for each of these an enhancement and a strat that I thought was cool. For this one, I picked Abhuman Detail. A Commissar can attach to Ogrins or Bulgrin, and it can give them orders. Finally, Commissars can attach to Ogrins and give them orders.
It's what we've all wanted.
Everybody's been asking for it for the entire edition, and we finally got it.
It makes Ogrin Force a possibility. Ogrin Force can happen.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, but you still only get one Commissar.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something.
Ogrin Force can still happen. And for strat, I picked Mordian Minute, a unit that you have that's under the effects of first rank fire, second rank fire, increases the strength of their guns by 1. And a lot of times for guard, that's going to translate to +1 to wound. That's going to give you strength 4 on your las guns against Marines, which is going to get you wounding on 4s. And it'll get you up to wounding strength or toughness 6 things on 5s, which is nice. Yeah, what do you guys think? Pretty cool?
Yeah, is that your rating?
You're not going to give us your slam rating?
Oh, sure. I just didn't know if you guys had any official
Well, so like overall, I like this one. I think that it's actually pretty good. I'm not a guard player, so mileage may vary. But I think this is actually.
Do you play any of the armies that you got detachments for? I don't think so.
Ask me again as we get further in, because I legitimately cannot remember what is and isn't in this right now. I
think Ryan and I have like half these armies covered.
Yeah, you and Ryan have half of them, and I think that I've like glanced at some of them. Yeah. I think it's like the fairest thing to say.
Sure.
But as far like this one, I think is really cool. It kind of is a flavor of guard that I like. That kind of making your commanders better, and like the veteran guard company. And like Abhuman Detail especially.
Yeah.
is super cool. Getting the fact that the two of the other enhancements give you special orders, I like.
Yeah, that's very cool too.
I'm gonna throw my sex appeal score out here just to
Okay.
begin with.
Sure.
Oh my god.
It's an 8
8. Okay. Strong.
with a big ol' asterisk here. Because I think that what ends up happening is you just make tank commanders better with this. And you don't end up with like
I think putting an asterisk fucked up my math.
yeah, you can't put an asterisk in there. It
breaks my math.
But yeah, that's my big ol' asterisk is like you can't like it loses a little bit of the flavor fail for me because it just ends up being another tank commander detachment.
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like when I was reading through this, it's like they clearly wanted to be like grizzled, I mean, it's named Grizzled Company, like old soldier guys on the ground. But when you really look at it, a tank company is what would benefit best from this, in my opinion.
I think you can like run both really well.
Yeah.
I gave this, as far as sex appeal, a 7. Similar reasons. I think it's like just really cool, nails that kind of like veteran guardsman vibe. But like at the end of the day, it is like very kind of utilitarian and not super flashy. But that it kind of like goes hand in hand with what guard is. So, Ryan, what's your S?
I gave it a 7.
7.
Because
nice.
like it's neat, it's cool. I like the Ogren thing, but it's not like it's nothing like super new here.
Yeah.
It's just more orders.
Yeah.
But it seems like it would be fun.
Yeah. I guess we should probably break down the slam scale for those of you that are new here. We have sex appeal is our S. Oh, it's that way. Sex appeal is our S. That's kind of like your first gut reaction. You open the detachment, you look at it, and it's like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. Like how it basically boils down to like how flashy and cool is the detachment. L is your lore score. How well does it kind of like conform to current lore, or like add to the lore in interesting ways, or does it like have very fluffy rules? Approachability is going to be how easy it is for a player either new to this army or new to 40k in general to approach this detachment from both a rules and hobby perspective. And meta is our very best guess at how good we think it will be competitively, but we're not competitive players. So that's just a big old guess. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, that is the slam scale for those of you that are new here. Moving on to the lore. I gave this one a pretty solid 8. I think that this was like a pretty big lore win. It allows you to build kind of more elite forces, which is kind of the whole theme behind the detachment, and just like the enhancements like abhuman detail, primo stuff. I think that like the stratagems are probably a little on the boring side, but that's like neither here nor there. But yeah.
I actually think the stratagems, like the simplicity of this, and this kind of goes into approachability a little bit, but the simplicity of this, I think, really is beneficial to a guard lore army. I think having something like Mordian Minute, I think the choice of the stratagems do a lot for sorry. I think the simplicity of the stratagems do a lot to like sort of illustrate that veteran feel, right? Like all 6 of them are very like they make sense, for veteran guard. And I think the enhancements are crazy flavorful to me.
The enhancements really sell this to me.
Yeah, the enhancements sell the flavor on this one. So I would give it a lore 8, but I'm going to give it a 7 only because of my gripe with the tank thing. And ironically, making the detachment worse by making the ability only hit infantry or not hitting vehicles would like save the lore thing for me. But just like the thought of like it's sort of a meta flavor fail to me that like it just will end up being a tank company, you know, which maybe isn't fair,
Yeah.
right? Guard is very much a tanks army, but like the flavor to me says infantry, so I wanted to. Oh, we can't do half scores, right?
I don't know.
7.5.
It just shows up as 5. Sorry.
Oh.
All right, then no, it's just 7. All right, cool, sick.
It maths out to 7.5, but only shows the 5. Ryan, what do you think?
So I give this a 9.
9? Okay.
Like,
oh, that's good.
you know, how it's played on the battlefield aside, you can make a very flavorful army with this. It's got the Ogren thing, which for an old hamhead like me, if that's the appropriate term, back in the day, Ogrens had a rule called "It's Dark and Dare," where if you wanted them to get into a transport, they had to pass the leadership test unless they had an officer there to like pat them on the back and assure them there's nothing scary inside the Chimera.
That's funny.
So, lore-wise, to me, officers joining Ogrens is very flavorful. I like the like special orders you can get. You can make like a spec ops unit essentially. It just works, you know.
And this like helps Casterkin a lot too, because Casterkin can like go into the effects of 2 orders and they can order themselves, so like this helps them out a lot.
Yeah, I think flavor-wise.
Hey,
go ahead and boost mine to an 8. And here's why. Here's why. I think Ryan has shown me the light, and I'll tell you why. This is everything I want out of like 40k detachments, because like the point of like you can make a special ops team out of like just a guardsman team, you know, like the sort of vibe with the enhancements, like that's what we're missing. That's the old kind of enhancements. What did we used to call them? Relics and
oh god,
commander traits, something traits. But like this is sort of what I think we're missing. Like these legitimately feel like they make sense to be upgrading my characters, as opposed to like, oh, here's like really weird, like really specific esoteric things that like they don't really give me any flavor like vibes. You know, sometimes the enhancements don't give me an actual flavor vibe.
Yeah.
Which I think is a flavor fail.
Yeah, one of the things I really like about this attachment is like 2 of the enhancements basically boost the whole unit and like other units even, because you can give the order to other units, you know. It's not like a it doesn't spike that character into a hero. It spreads the enhancements impact across the army, which to me is like very Astra Militarum way of thinking. It's not about some lone hero dude.
So the enhancements on this one are abhuman detail, which gives you the Ogren Commissar ability, and in declare battle formations you can put a Commissar on a Bulgrin or Ogren squad. Aquilin Eye, which lets you use the target weak spot order, which will let you increase or add 1 to the armor pen to a target within 12. Spec Ops Vet says each time you select an order, you may use the Move to the Shadows order, which will basically give you the stealth ability on a unit. And then Laud Hailer increases order range to 12 instead of 6.
You know, I just read that as Loud Hailer every time I looked at it.
I know.
Now.
Well, I think it's Laud like oh Laud, you know. But like I think it's just like a Mordian saying loud in a weird way, I guess, probably.
Yeah.
Well, lauding is a word. It's like praise, right? Just to praise something.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, very very cool enhancements. Moving on to approachability. I put this one at a 9. I think it's like not quite as approachable as Combined Arms, because Combined Arms is just like very straightforward. This mostly is too. But I think like the lethal hits is just like a little bit more intuitive for a new player. But also like from a hobby perspective, it's you can kind of just take like whatever you want, and you're gonna get the buff from this. Because for the most part, you want orders on basically everything in your army, and so the reroll hits of one and the wounds of one is mostly a passive buff. So I think that makes it very easy to approach as a new player.
Yeah, I actually am following kind of the same logic, but I'm giving it a 10 because it mitigates you having to choose where your orders go as much, right? Because you can just issue more orders. So,
Sure.
like that alone, I think like eases that gotcha point on like, oh, I issued the wrong order to a squad. I should have issued it here. I wish I issued it here, whatever. It still doesn't mitigate it like entirely, right? You don't necessarily.
I think it does mitigate it entirely. You like even with like current guard,
Sure.
you're never like really running out of orders.
Right.
But this, like,
Yeah.
kinda
I mean,
just
I guess
kills it
like
entirely.
I guess more likely than not, but like depending on how you build, like there's ways you can build your army where that's not true, but
Sure.
you'd have to like almost do it intentionally.
Yeah.
I guess so. But yeah, I think it's a solid 10 on accessibility. Like it's not asking you to do anything specific; it's just asking you to build guard army, and then you
Here's
get
a
stuff.
few. Here's a few buffs to go along with it.
Yeah.
Ryan,
I gave it a 6 because
what?
I thought for a new player, having extra orders, having more orders, and specifically things that like the officers are getting more orders. It's not represented on their unit card. It's like stuff that could easily fall through the cracks and they lose functionality of their detachment. Was what I'd be worried about. I don't know. Like it's one of those things that new players often mess up is like when they're assigning things to units, they forget to assign them and stuff. So
Yeah, but that's like guard does that. That's not like specific to this detachment.
well, yeah, I know that guard does it, but the fact that it's like tweaking it, a new player could like forget to do the extra order for an officer or something. I don't know. It's just stuff to keep.
Yeah,
up
they
with.
could.
It's an interesting.
That's my opinion.
It's a take.
I think the more moving parts in an army, the less, especially things that are modified on the different from the unit card. When they're in the heat of the battle,
Now,
they're like, look at their unit card.
We should keep in mind for people in chat, we're not comparing the army to the rest of the armies. We're like comparing the detachment to like the rest of the detachments, basically.
Yeah, this is someone who wants
Yeah.
to play guard already. So like it's
if you're already
accessibility.
going to play guard, is this
Yeah.
like out of all of the guard detachments, how accessible is this? And I think that this is one of, if not the most accessible guard detachments.
Although I will say,
Yeah.
occasionally we have affected accessibility score on like painting trim, right? But like
there is
yeah.
one. Well, yeah, because that's hobby, right? Like,
sure, yeah.
if a detachment wants you to run like very specific units that are not easy to hobby, then I think
Yeah.
that's detrimental to it.
Yeah, make it a
but
7,
yeah, it's
you know.
seven?
I still
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it's super accessible. Like Warhammer Penguin in chat says guard is hard for new players because there's so much stuff to keep up with to begin with. So, but
yeah.
we'll
Also,
do
real
7.
quick, nothing to apologize for because that's a good point that that normally when we do these slam scales, it's for the codex, so it's only against the like it's only across the other detachments. The Grotmas detachments is when we kind of have
since
the
we're
weird
like
one
jumping from
that-
army to army. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a little weird. As far as meta, I think I probably put this one at a 6. There's not like any kind of tricks here. You're kind of just playing very honest, straightforward Warhammer, and so your game plan is kind of just like laid out for your opponent right from the get-go. So they can an experienced player will be able to kind of like counter what you're going for, unless you were like obviously much more skilled than they are. But yeah, doesn't do anything tricksy, but it does have like a decent amount of flexibility that I think helps it a little bit.
Yeah, I think the toolbox on the I almost said commandments on the stratagems. The toolbox on the stratagems I think is pretty good, but like they're tools, they're not tricks, right? Like they're like, and I think that while I don't think a detachment needs tricks to be good necessarily, I mean, I don't know. Like these are all pretty good detach. Like Morty a Minute, Purging Fire, both gonna be great for damage. Snap to It really helps you like sort of mitigate if you do need to change an order or something. Like you have Armor of Contempt, and it's Armor of Contempt for the phase, not just Armor of Contempt for that attack sequence.
Yeah, like I think the buffs are good, but they're
it's
also
just,
like easy to play around.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that totally. But I'm gonna give it a 7 because I just think that the like
Fair. Respectable.
this is the first guard detachment that I've seen that's made me go, yeah, I kind of like I kind of would play this without like having to think too hard, and I like it.
Yeah. Sweet. Ryan?
I give it an 8.
8? Okay. I can see that.
Because I could see a not like pure tank company, but like a tank heavy list doing well with this, especially since you can sticky objectives with those tanks with a stratagem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty powerful thing to be able to do, I think. Unless you push really hard with tanks, where if you're tank heavy, you have sort of an issue with board coverage, but that helps mitigate it. And then you throw in a little bit of infantry. And like with the Laud Hailer, you can have your tank commanders throwing out orders to tanks spread across the board better. It kind of like fixes some of the issues.
I think good
that you might
lists
run
for
into.
this are going to look similar to good lists for Hammer of the Emperor, which is going to
Agreed.
be like you're going to have a few like big heavy tanks, but like what's honestly doing a majority of the work in Hammer of the Emperor is Tauroxes full of infantry that are just like running through walls and dropping dudes off. With the
And you
tanks
don't
there
have
back
that.
up.
You don't
And
have
I
that
think,
utility of breaching with vehicles in here. Yeah.
I think they're gonna look similar, but not like exactly the same. But it's like similar tools. Solid 7.8 on our first detachment. Not
Yeah,
too
it's
bad,
pretty.
James.
I think pretty high.
Compared
all things
to how we
considered.
normally land, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So next up, we're gonna let Ryan lead the charge on this one a little bit. Is Nightmare Hunt. This is your Night Lord's detachment. This is Dread Talons, but good-ish.
Dread Talons 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It is almost exactly the same detachment, but just like here's some extra rules tacked on top of it.
Yeah, it's got some cool stuff in it.
Yeah. So
with a little bit of a price.
Yeah. So the detachment rule, Terror Made Manifest. Enemies below starting strength within 12 inches of one of your units have to take a battle shock test in their command phase. That is the current Dread Talents rule, right?
Yes, but
Great. And then tacked on top of that, enemies that are battle shocked get -1 to hit when they're targeting you. Friendly units that are targeting enemies below half strength get +1 to hit, which is not reliant on battle shock, which is great. And +1 to wound against battle shocked enemies. And so yeah, basically just adds like 3 bonus rules on top of Dread Talons.
Yeah. It is a little different than Dread Talons in that the -1 to leadership is only in the command phase. With Dread Talons, they have to take the battle shock test if they're below starting strength, and then in general, if you're within 12 inches of a unit, they're -1 leadership. So why that matters is there's things in Dread Talons that and in Chaos Space Marines that push battle shock tests outside of the command phase. You wouldn't be getting that bonus, like namely Raptors, who have a built-in -1 leadership themselves, or -1 to battle shock. You're not going to be getting the -2 to battle shock that you would be getting. Oh no,
Yeah.
Battle
Well,
Shock's worse.
we'll
But
kind of get into it a little bit, but like Raptors and Noise Marines fucking love this detachment.
Yeah.
yeah, I've been wanting to take some Noise Marines in Dread Talons, and then
Yeah.
this I definitely would like to take some Noise Marines.
Um. So, as far as the enhancement and strat I picked, I thought that Sorrow Sent Vulture was great because I'm a Warp Talons enjoyer. It lets your Jump Lord attach to Warp Talons, and it also gives them a 6-inch Scout move, which a 6-inch Scout move on top of a unit that already moves 12 inches is like turn 1 charge,
Yeah.
go burr, baby.
Yeah.
Love that.
Especially on that one was Dawn of War, the other one, the wide deployment.
Hot Dog Deployment.
Yeah, hot dog deployment.
Yeah, that's. Well, now I'm questioning myself. I'm pretty sure that's Dawn of War. Hammer Neville's the other one. And then strat, horrific incursion, which is like one of the effects that Ryan was talking about, where when your unit arrives from deep strike, you can pick an enemy unit within 12 inches and visible of that unit to take a battle shock test. Stacking that with the debuffs that you can get from like Raptors and from like Noise Marines and stuff, make that like a pretty spicy way to get a battle shock unit, especially like going into your shooting phase when you're gonna want those buffs. Especially for Raptors. So Raptors really like that a lot.
Yeah.
Anything stand out to you guys?
I like warp fueled thrusters a lot. This definitely feels like a Raptor and Warp Talon kind of like list. And
Yeah, that's actually in Dread Talons. They just brought
Yeah.
that one over.
That one's just direct port.
is it called the same thing too?
Exactly
pretty
the
sure,
same.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that. I wish again. I like that's the kind of stuff I wish they did more of.
Yeah.
Just because like it makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, I like that one a lot. But I mean, all of these are good. Like all the enhancements feel fun. Again, slam dunk on the enhancements. I think. I don't know. I haven't really. Nothing stood out to me on the stratagems really. Not that any of them are bad, but like none of them were like, "Ooh, I love this," you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, having warp fuel thrusters and the Saracen Vulture, because like Warp Talons have a baked-in ability to get picked up and put back down. If you have both of those, like if you have a Chaos Lord and Raptors and Chaos Lord and Warp Talons, you've got like potentially, you got to have killed units or not be in engagement range, but potentially like a pick them up and put them down twice with jump back infantry in a turn. And with the big jump pack focus, a stratagem that stands out to me is advance and charge. Like that's big. That's a lot of reach for some of those
You have
jump units.
You have an advance in charge and a fallback and shoot in charge in this detachment, which is great.
Those are like two of my favorite types of stratagems.
Yeah.
I mean, any
those
melee
abilities
army
are
fucking
so
loves
useful.
advance in charge, obviously.
Yeah, you know who would love that, but is Templars.
Who? Never heard of them. Anyway,
you know who oddly gets that is fucking Thousand Sons. Gets advance in charge and fallback and shoot for no fucking reason.
Magic
on that rubric detachment. Yeah, anytime I see advance in charge, I'm happy. I almost think that should be a base stratagem at this point.
Yeah, I can see that. Ryan, you want to kick us off with your sex appeal score here?
Well, no one could guess it, but my sex appeal score is 10.
I guessed it. Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah, obviously you're a big Night Lords enjoyer, so that's not really shocking. I give it a 9. I actually really like this a lot. I think it was kind of like down on Dread Talons, but this is like a marked improvement in basically every conceivable way. I'm a big fan of this.
It's like it's very close to what rumors about Night Lord's attachments were at a certain point, with like the bonuses to hit and wound, and then we never got that, and people were like, "Whoa." But anyway, go ahead, Sean.
I'm also giving it a 9. I'm pretty high on this one. It's the first like battle shock detachment that's made me go, yeah, okay. Like
Maybe there's something here.
maybe there might be something here with Battle Shock. I think it's really, I don't know if it's really good, but I think it's really good for like trying to go about that strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to get the battle shocks off, which is someone who is almost exclusively. I mean, there was a little period where I played Fellhammer Siege Host, but like the narrative, I played nothing but Dread Talons at both.
Based.
Yeah, I was Night Lords at both, all for every battle. It doesn't happen very often, especially if you're fighting Space Marines.
Yeah.
Sure, but this does give you the most opportunity for that, like with
Yeah.
multiple stacking sources of it. And I know Dread Talents is the same way, but like this then rewards you when you do get that. So it
like,
makes it a bigger deal, I guess.
With Dread Talons, to get stuff battle shocked, I would have to like kind of focus my battle shocking onto a unit. And then like with Dread Talons, it's like I would get there, finally someone would get shocked because of all the modifiers I'm putting on them, and I'd be like, woo, I did it. But then that's all I get. With this,
then you don't.
Then I'll actually be able
really
to hurt them.
Then then they're battle shocked. So what? Right? Like
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of my issue with battle shock. Is like they're battle shocked. So what? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the biggest benefit from that is they can't use stratagems. But honestly, if you're going for that, just take a bunch of Nemesis Claws, get them into engagement.
Yeah. As far as lore, Ryan, what do you got as lore?
I gave it a 10. This is very loreful for Night Lords.
Is loreful a word? I guess it is now.
It is now. Like, it's honestly like a little more. I mean, Dread Talons is like pretty appropriately flavorful also, but this is like. Dread Talons is like Night Lords as people see them. Like, oh, they're just scaring everybody. This is Night Lords as they are. Like, oh, they're, messing with people's minds and then exploiting it to, do additional damage to them.
Yeah, I gave this one a 2 because there's no skin cloak. If there was an enhancement that was a skin cloak, I would I'd give it a 10.
I don't think there's a skin cloak in Dread Talons either.
No, which is why that's also a 0.
My head.
No, I'll give it a 9.
9?
Still think that there should be a skin cloak enhancement. That's just me.
Maybe one day. I gave this one an 8. It's like pretty good. I think it's like one of the more flavorful detachments in the entire game. But I do think that like just give me like one or two fluffier stratagems.
Sure.
Because they're all kind of just like pretty generic. You see these kinds of stratagems in a lot of armies. So a little boring on the stratagem front, but like the enhancements are great. The detachment rules great. Like basically everything else about this detachment is very fluffy. Approachability, Ryan.
I give it a 6. As much as I love it, I know from being an experienced player, it's hard to get battle shock stuff to pop off. And so if you're a new player, it could be very frustrating, especially if you're not like if you don't have like the right units to try to like push it, you don't plan around it, you could struggle to like make this work. Especially if you're fighting like Space Marines or Custodians or anyone with 6 leadership.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but kind of for a different reason. I don't think that this detachment necessarily expects you to be battle shocking everything necessarily, right? Because especially in this one versus Dread Talons, what you get from battle shocking something is so much bigger here.
You agree, as in you also gave it a 6?
No, I give it a 5 actually. But my reasoning is more of a feels bad thing, because I don't think that you should have to battle shock everything, but I think that a new player looking at this might expect that everything needs to be battle shock. That you're getting, when really it's about making those battle shocks count rather than getting off a ton of battle shocks.
Yeah. It's kind of like you gotta like target your battle shock like where you're just gonna like throw a bunch of fucking leadership debuffs on somebody.
Mhm.
I also gave it a 5 for similar reasons. It's like kind of a lot of weird overlapping buffs and debuffs. And yeah, like you need pretty specific positioning to get all of those things to overlap in a way that's gonna, get a Space Marine to fail their battle shock test so you can get those buffs against them.
On-
Yeah.
On an upside for new players, playing this detachment might help them remember to do battle shock. Period. Because I know
Yeah,
for some new players, they just forget the battle shock phase.
And old
shit,
players.
we
Have
do
what
too.
Yeah, we forget it. Yeah. So there is that like little silver lining. Is it'll help you remember that phase of the rules,
True.
perhaps.
That's why you got a 6 instead of a 5.
Yeah, that's that one extra point.
What about meta? What are you thinking, Ryan?
Let me pull. So I gave it an 8,
Oh shit! Okay.
but I gave it an 8
Is this another 8 with an asterisk?
with a bit of an asterisk. If you're someone who's been playing Dread Talons, because I do all right with Dread Talons. I win games. I'm not like getting creamed every time I go to the table. This will just be more effective. Same kind of strategies. You'll be able to do things better. Because like honestly, with Dread Talons, you weren't battle shocking the whole army anyway. You're already trying to focus something down. If you were even like really focusing on that, and not just waiting for incidental battle shocks, but this will play into like a skill set you already have if you're familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it, probably not an 8. I guess overall, not an 8, but like I don't know, someone who knows what they're doing could probably do some work with this, especially if they get into the Warp Talons, Raptors, a lot of like hopping around the board, taking objectives that are vulnerable, turning off people's objective control with battle shock. That's where you're really gonna see the utility of this list, I think.
John?
not an 8. Probably 6. I just like. There's a world where this is huge, and this like. And I don't mean like it's huge, like hey, we see it in every tournament, but I mean it's huge as in like you can have a streak of games where it's huge, and then you just have a streak of games where your opponent rolls hot and nothing ever battle shocks, right? So like, I don't know, it's a little too chancing on your opponent failing those battle shocks to like I think reliably make a dent in anything. But I think you can see places where it's gonna like go off randomly, It's the casino cannon of battle shock detachments, right? Like
I love casino cannons.
Which is why,
I know you
hold
do.
on, I'm gonna roll a d10 really quick and see what my score is. Speaking of casino cannon, I'm just kidding. So you're both much kinder than me. I gave this a 3. I think this is not good.
Oh wow.
I think this is like actually pretty bad. Again, like because
My God.
this is a battle shock detachment. I like battle shock detachments are not good. They won't be good as long as battle shock functions the way that it currently functions. It's
I like agree with you.
it derives a lot of its power from a mechanic that's like unreliable.
Mhm.
So I can't like in good conscience give this anything better than a 3.
It's a mechanic that like I'm shocked is still frankly in the game.
Would you say you're battle shock?
Yeah, I am. I am like the fact that we removed the psychic phase and then kept this dumb rule is like, and like I think this is a worse implementation of the rule than like past editions.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily want to see like unit attrition through battle shock, but like at least that had an effect.
Yeah, it affected the game in some capacity. It's like better off not even being there than the way it functions
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, against all odds, 7.3. You know, it's got like pretty good sex appeal, pretty good lore.
And then
Approachability and meta kind of fell off a little bit for some of us.
Mhm.
Next up,
Just gotta know how to work it, baby.
Hell yeah, brother. We have the Blood Angels Rage Cursed Onslaught.
So am I just so why don't we sub Matt in?
That's what I got Matt's thing pulled up. So Matt's scores are gonna be my scores.
Okay,
Or my scores are gonna be Matt's scores, I should say.
So
So
for sex, Matt says he's never had it.
uh,
Which is we know is a
He
lie.
has a child.
There's ways around that.
I guess, but
Anyway, that's not neither here nor there. Let's talk about instead
save that for the Emperor's
the Rage
Children
Curse
detachment.
Onslaught. Each time an Adeptus Astartes model from your army makes a melee attack, you roll a wound of 1. So, against your oath target, you're going to be rerolling hits and rerolling wounds of 1. Each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is selected to fight, if that unit made a charge move this turn until the end of the phase, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of melee weapons and equipped by models in that unit. If your unit is battle shocked, add 2 to the attacks characteristic. Interesting, right? Getting buffed for being battle shocked. Here it is again. Battle shock is back.
Yeah, this attachment versus the last attachment would be rough for the last attachment.
We should try it. We should see what happens.
The more I succeed, the worse things get for me.
Yep.
I mean, they get an extra attack for being battle shocked. It's not like, they get anything.
I think there's
really
other
crazy,
things that
right?
pop off when they're battle shocked.
Yeah, there's a couple things.
Yeah.
So I'll do. You don't have standout enhancements and stratagems. I'm gonna shout out
a standout enhancement at least.
Master of the Red Thirst.
It's not.
Oh,
So I do like that one.
love that one.
But Carmine Reliquary for a chaplain, models in the bear's unit have the Scout 6-inch ability. Great. Scouts 6 inches, always good. Each time you take a battle shock test for an Adeptus Astartes unit within 6 inches of the bear, you can reroll the result. That means you can try and force yourself to fail. It doesn't have to be reroll fails. It can be reroll successes.
There's
which
also
is
two
very
dots
funny. There are 2 periods after it. Yeah. At the end of that, on the PDF, there are 2 periods.
because Blood Angels, so double the periods.
Sean. Family show. This is a family show. Chill.
It took me a second to get that, and
Chill.
I wish I hadn't.
God.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Master
of the Red Thirst. Master of the Red Thirst is also really good. Once per battle, you can give a unit fights first. I don't think you really need it more than once per battle, so that's perfect. Maybe twice per battle you need it, but
pretty great.
It's pretty great.
So I'm gonna channel Matt here for a minute. And let's talk about his sex appeal score. It says yes please out of 10. I'm just gonna assume that that's a 10. And I'm gonna read his little blurb here. Very spicy build around rules. Can stack buffs onto bikes via Bike Chaplain to make for a nasty turn 1 charge. Angel's Fang allows for a slightly less potent but multi-use Smash Captain similar to Lag's enhancement. Multiple strats to voluntarily get shocked turns on suicide charges at perfect times. Sticky on death means baiting shooting armies out to the objective if they want to ding your primary and makes the scouts a worthy sacrifice. There you go. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that this is incredibly. I think you're gonna see for most of these attachments, they're incredibly flavorful, and that's the sex appeal win for me. I don't really give a shit about Death Company, right? It's not my thing, But I think that
Sean's a horse enjoyer.
Yeah. If I had to choose Horus or Death Company, yeah, Horus over Death Company, absolutely. But that being said, I'm gonna give it an 8. Right? I think that this is the sort of Death Company vibe that I think that Blood Angels players are looking for. But it doesn't do as much for me.
8's still pretty solid. Ryan, what are you thinking?
I gave it an 8. You know,
Nice.
it's a bunch of angry boys getting angrier. I didn't give it more than an 8 because like the flavor for it was like guys giving in to like the black rage and stuff, and I didn't quite get that vibe. It's just like they're just angry, you know. This is like generalized angry blood angels. Um, I guess the battle shocking, giving them an extra
That's what the
attack
battle
is
shock
them
is.
giving in the black rage.
I think a
Yeah,
lot of
no.
people just kind of internalize battle shock as like, oh, they're scared, but like it could be a lot of things. I don't think that they got that across in the game very well, but
Do you think that this is like a better Flesh Terrors detachment than Blood Angels detachment?
I
Yeah,
don't know
kind
enough
of.
about Flesh Terrors to tell you if I'm
Okay.
being honest.
I think
Flesh-
this is like, which they're a Blood Angel successor, so like fine.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like this fits the flavor of some successors better than Blood Angels themselves, because Blood Angels are a lot more about controlling that
Mm-hmm.
Red Thirst.
And Flesh Terrors are like, fuck it, we ball.
I mean, they still
Yeah,
try to
they just-
control it, but I think that they're more prone. Like it's kind of the idea that they're a little more prone
I
to
don't
it.
know,
You know?
there's no buffs for Gabriel Seth here.
No.
They kind of like they kind of like ride the rage with Flesh Terrors.
Ride the
and-
Rage. That's going on the band name list.
Actually, Ride the Rage
but
would also be a great name for a stratagem.
True.
Yeah. I guess like for me, what I would want to see to make us have more sex appeal is like stuff where you are like to some extent, and I know this is like a tricky thing to balance, but like losing control of your army to some extent, like forced charges or like inability to fall back in certain situations. Like that would really drive home. They're like, oh, they've lost themselves to the rage. Like they're
Yeah.
not, and like it makes them really powerful, but like at a cost.
It was like the old
Would be
Blood Claw rules for Space Wolves was like if you had a legal charge in range of them, they like had to charge. Or they had to attempt
Yeah,
it.
something like that would be cool, in my opinion, to
Yeah.
really drive home the sort of like, oh, we're like letting it go, boys. That's how Blood Angels talk in my head.
Let it go, boys.
Oh yeah, dude, we're
They talk
getting
like
like
orcs.
raged out, man.
Oh, they talk
Gotta
like
get some blood.
they talk like the Californians.
Yeah, have
Yeah,
you
I
seen
guess.
their hair? They're all surfers.
Yeah, they're
True.
all surfer dude vampires.
Surfer vampires.
Let's move on to lore. Lore. Matt gives it a 7 out of 10. Great showing for how BA weaponized the flaw in battle at times, similar to lag. The chaplain buffs reinforce using chaplains the way they get used in lore as well. The Grim Warning strat is a lore miss though. We chop up bodies so gruesomely that you're scared to touch our objective once we die on it. Do what now? Question mark. What is it? Grim Warning. So any phase one Blood Angels unit from your army that was just destroyed on an objective, you can use this stratagem. Select one of those objective markers and it remains under your control until your opponent's level of control. Sticky objectives. When something dies, it stickies it.
Yeah. So, and he's really, I think he's pointing out the flavor text versus the effect, because the flavor text is talking about how they butcher the bodies,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then it's about Blood Angels dying.
yeah. That
yeah.
strat seemed weird to me.
That
I
is
think it's
strange.
useful. Ish.
So
kind
I'm
of,
actually gonna,
but-
because of that, give it an 8, because the Blood Angels were known to eat their own dead during the heresy.
Well, there you go.
I think they do that still in some
I
cases.
think it would be a little
Less
better
so.
if it was like
yeah,
if you killed
It-
something on an objective, it's sticky
I
instead of
agree.
the other way around.
yeah.
That would be
Like
a
I
flavor.
think, yeah, for the flavor text, I think that's how that should function.
Yeah.
That one I read it a few times and I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Is that there's no other stratagem that does that though, huh? Right?
I don't think so.
Like when something dies, it stickies.
Oh
that's,
yeah,
that's kind of a wild.
World
strat.
leaders have stuff like that too.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, there's multiple. I've seen that in a few places.
I think it's useful for the
Yeah.
Blood Angels because like it's a very
counter
pushy, aggressive army, and so like it's like in a situation where you like want to take an objective, you push a guy out there. It's like you can make their sacrifice worth it because like if they
Yeah,
get shot
something
down,
like something like assault intercessors or death company intercessors, like they're not that tough, right?
You
Like
push
they're
out
just,
like some MSU assault intercessors, die on an objective, pop that strat, boom, it's yours.
Yeah.
It's just a weird strat with how they like flavored it, because like if they're actually fighting in melee to where that happens, then it's not going to do anything, because at the end of the phase, the enemy is going to control it, right?
Yeah.
So it's only going to be shooting, but it's all about chopping up bodies. It's a weird.
Yeah, it's strange. It's
Sean,
a
I think you're
strangely
muted.
flavored one for sure.
I think the goal is they've butchered something up in melee and then they get shot off that objective, right?
Yeah.
Still weird. What's your lore score there, Ryan?
I gave it a 9.
Oh,
I don't know.
Whoa.
higher than Matt.
I thought
both of you higher than Matt even.
Angie boys, like, to me, this is what Blood Angels do. They're a bunch of barely hinged psycho killers.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I like, it's got the feel, like, you know, it's got stuff for them like running out and dying horribly because they're like juiced up on their rage, ignoring pain because they're juiced up on rage, going crazy and frenzied. You know,
Yeah.
I think lore wise it fits them.
Approachability. Our good buddy Matt gives this an 8 out of 10. He says, dust off the Death Company. This detachment gives new room to experiment with a lot of units that folks aren't quite able to make work in Lag or Angelic Inheritor Detachment. Big bike bricks. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Big bike bricks. Death Company jump pack bricks. Fucking suppressors. He said suppressors. Death Company dreads,
I don't
etc.
I don't think Matt knows what-
experimented with in ways that other detachments didn't quite support as much.
I don't think Matt knows what approachability
What am I
means.
missing? What am I missing with the suppressors here?
He's just trying to razz.
Did he
He's
throw
trolling
that
you.
in just to razz me?
That's just a pure razz. That's a pure razz right there. Ain't
Yeah,
nothing else
I think
but to it
insane.
with that.
I'm gonna go on the other leg here. Approachability, this is like a 4. Like,
Yeah.
like it's so unapproachable as far hell. Just because Matt scored it so high because he doesn't understand how the approachability score works, let's give it a 2.
Just to like hard counter.
Yeah, because like this is actively asking you to do things that like you don't
Typically want to do in a game.
like you don't want to teach new player, hey, here's how to play, and then the detachment changes in 11th, and now suddenly like
run a guy up there and die. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Get
So-
battle shocked. Huh?
yeah,
Ryan, what do you think?
it's a very unapproachable detachment, but I love it, but it's unapproachable.
Sure.
I don't know. I gave it a 7.
Okay.
Blood Angels is a melee army. Pushing guys up the board gets you good board presence. If the army leans into that, it's going to
Sure,
it's going
but
to help
all
you
of
win games.
all of the Blood Angels detachments do that.
Yeah. I mean, is approachability a rating of like how much more approachable is this compared to the other Blood Angels attachments, or is it an approachable
Yeah.
detachment?
Yes.
I
Both,
yes.
but like both, but like it does weigh against like. Yeah, I don't know.
The
It's-
thought here is, if you're going to play Blood Angels, how does this compare to like the rest of them?
I think this will fit someone's expectations of how they're going to play Blood Angels.
Cool. There you go. Ryan's allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
and
he's
I
not,
have
I
sort
just-
of as weird as Grim Warning is with like its like wording and flavor.
I think it's just a flavor mess. I
Oh.
think the way it functions
Yeah,
is fine.
the
I-
actual stratagem is great.
I think that stratagem is. It might, you know, it's possible that a character learns a bad behavior from it, but if they can't figure out that like doing something's only good because they have a stratagem for it, then
Maybe
there's
don't
something
play
else they
Warhammer.
need to learn. But it could be
Sure.
used in a situation where a new player overextends themselves, and instead of just getting fucked off a point by it, they can actually sticky it and kind of salvage something. It's a little bit of a band-aid
Softens the blow a
to a
little.
bad move.
Yeah, no, I think I think the actual enhancement is great. Like it's the kind of thing I want to see in an enhancement, that it's responsive. It helps you sort of like salvage a bad into a good.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what I want to see out of stratagems. I don't think
Yeah,
that makes yeah.
That stratagem will help a new player with a mistake. Master of the Red Thirst could help a player who gets himself in a tough situation where they like overextend and then they get charged. Insensate Rampage, Feel No Pain, that can help somebody.
But like only on Death Company, and like I don't think that Death Company is necessarily the like default image of Blood Angels, right? Like I think the default image of Blood Angels is like the captains in ab armor and sanguinary guard, right? Like that's the default image of
maybe.
Blood Angels. It's the way they're sold now. Like
every Blood Angels army I've ever seen has had Death Company.
Certainly that's not, I'm not refuting that, but this is asking you to build a Death Company list.
That's kind of like the vibe of it.
Anyway, meta.
I guess I don't get what you're saying, but
it's fine.
Brian or Matt wanted me to. His meta is 6-7, so I'm doing this thing and then I'm dabbing. For the kids, that's for the kids out there. I don't really know what he wants me to put there. I think he just wanted the meme, so I'm just gonna put a 7. This detachment feels about at the same level or slightly behind Angelic Inheritors. Borrows some notes from Lag, but lacks the nasty lethal lance strength combos. I think this one will be a more fun detachment and will feel more like an opponent is facing Death Company, blindly raging on the tabletop. Definitely good enough to hold its own in RTT level play. There might be a secret busted trick that I'm missing. If there is, it's probably tied to if the Death Company Dreadnought is undercosted at the moment or not.
Fair. Fair.
I forgot the Death Company Dreadnought was a thing.
Yeah, I did not. Because it's Dreadnought. I'm gonna stick on like my 6 train here because I think it's got a lot of tools. I think it's really interesting. I like the stratagems. I just feel like there's better things in Blood Angels to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Inheritors. But that's just me.
Okay. Cool. Ryan?
I gave it a 7. I think there's some things you can do that against certain armies will really, really rough them up, especially like a chaplain on bike blob scouting and then advancing and charging. That's like you're gonna be up inside of somebody real fast. Mm-hmm. And that's gonna be a hard unit for them to deal with. It's not like some of the scary stuff in Blood Angels is like when they get the strength bonus on charge, which I think Matt touched on.
Yeah.
That really lets them punch up from like just being assault intercessors or, just Marines with chain swords. It gets a hoardier army. This would do some work because it's you getting like a bunch of extra attacks. But
yeah, the extra attacks are great.
All right, 7.3, same as Nightmare Hunt. They're tied.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna try and speedrun these last 3 a little bit because it has already been like an hour. So, Port of the Phoenician. I think I spelled that right. Yeah, I did. Let's go.
Ryan.
This is a Ryan detachment for sure. Because it is Emperor's Children. This finally lets you get a little bit of help for Fulgrim, which is nice. Your detachment roll here, sensational performance. When this unit charges in the fight phase, it can trigger this ability. If it does, it cannot target a unit that was in engagement range at the start of the turn. It can't target an enemy that was the target of another unit's charge or attack this phase, and it improved the strength and AP of melee weapons by 1. So it's more layered, weird rules on top of their already weird layered army rule.
Well, it's the same, essentially. It's the same as their fallback in charge stuff. It's just adding an added benefit. So like it's encouraging you to do like the little dance more. Like the dance where you fall back from one unit, charge another, and like swap units. Like you're doing this.
Now that you just sold it to me as a dance, I'm kind of more into it.
Yeah. I mean,
That's cute.
I read this rule and kind of scratched my head and then reread it and I'm like, this is cool. This is great. I love it. The bonus on here as well is once per battle round, you can give Fulgrim the sinuous breach or prideful superiority stratagem for I think free.
Nope. Prideful superiority is 2 CP, so that'll be 1.
Okay, so sinuous for free and prideful for 1.
Yeah. So he can move through terrain for free or reroll hits and wounds versus characters for 1.
Yeah.
So just kind of like quickly running through stuff. I Sex Appeal gave this one a 5. I'm like not that excited about it, if I'm being honest. It's cool to kind of like sell it as a little dance. But also the fact that it's like just the army rule, but hey, also you get +1 strength and attack is kind of boring. And I think most of the strats and enhancements are pretty boring too. So yeah, they're kind of just like flat, weird numbers buffs for the most part. So I don't know. I don't love it. This one doesn't speak to me.
I'm totally against you on the detachment rule. I'm totally with you on the strats and enhancements.
Sure.
But I think that what they do is make the army kind of work better that it needed. And anything that lets me play full like that awesome fucking Fulgrim model effectively. So I'm gonna give it middle of the road 7.
5 is middle of the road. What do you mean 7 middle of the road? What do you mean by that?
Oh, you'll see why that's middle of the road in a second. You'll see why
7. Well, it's a C is average.
I know why it's middle of the road.
No, I didn't give it a 10.
But you did give it a 9?
I gave it a 9 because I like the dance. Like their army rule is like you can advance and fall back and charge into something as long as you haven't been in engagement range with it. So like it promotes that. It's fun. I didn't give it a 10 because in my heart of hearts, the thing that I like the most about Emperor's Children is like the Noise Marines.
Right.
And like, this is not particularly, this is more about like swordsmen and Phoenix Guard type guys. But it's still fun, it's them like doing goofy shit.
Yeah.
That's probably like unnecessary lore wise.
It's kind of funny because like, I feel like people think of Noise Marines and this is like almost like Heresy or Scouring era, like Emperor's Children, where they still have that like beauty and grace. But I think people just sort of forget about that in 40k era. I do too, right? Like I would much rather run Noise Marines than fucking Flawless Blades.
I mean, it's like back in the day before like these armies got fleshed out. It was like the Emperor's Children stuff was like, here's your Noise Marines. That's like them. That's like where they got their start. And they were so like they had like a little bit of that old GW goof to them, so they were kind of like iconic, like when they still had guitars and stuff.
Yeah.
Lore. It's a 5 again. I like just don't feel like it's particularly interesting or fluffy. I think pretty much all of the codex detachments are more interesting from a fluff perspective. I also just like, as a me thing, I'm not really loving this trend of detachments that are like incentivizing you to run specific named characters, especially Primarchs. So yeah, 5.
I agree with you on that. I too don't like the hey, here's well, I kind of do. They're like sort of armies of renown, right? Like that's sort of where we're at in the stage of the edition. But them being like sort of strictly better, I don't like. I gave this a 7 on lore also because
Middle of the road.
the idea. Well, no, this is like a high 7, whereas the sex appeal 7 was a middle of the road 7. This is a high 7. Because like, listen, Jordan, don't question my logic.
I'm not.
Because it's got like, and even the way it's named, the pageantry and performance, like it instantly hits that feel for me in a cool way. So I dig it.
Is it a 9, Ryan?
I agree with you. I agree with you about the like not being super fond of things that are pushing like name characters and prime marks. But given the fact that this detachment is explicitly the court of the Phoenician, I gave it a 9. Because it to me, like, it feels like what would be happening if Fulgrim was on the field. Like, he's rolling out there, big and bad, and he's got all these like master swordsmen around him,
he rolls.
slithering out there.
He lays like flat and rolls.
He like, Ouroboroses himself and then rolls down the battlefield.
Yeah,
Fulgrim's just a sharp noodle.
He rolls up into a droideka and just.
So like, if he was going into battle, I could definitely see like a bunch of like expert swordsmen doing like this big showy dance of combat around him, and he's like, "Oh wow, what a great party!" And then he's like killing a bunch of people. You know,
Let's get wasted.
To me, it fits the lore.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we keep going, Sean, are you 7s all the way across? And Ryan, are you 9s all the way across?
I'm not 9s all the way across.
Okay, great.
No, because approachability. I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I don't know Emperor's Children enough to say approachability or meta.
With the new data that I have, approachability is a 6. Because it kind of is just like, here's another bonus for doing your army roll, I guess. So that is what it is. And it's still like really restricted. Most of the other rules are like kind of straightforward, and from a hobby perspective, Fulgrim is probably like the coolest model that they've made in like, I don't know, a long time.
Which is intimidating to paint for new players.
Fucking terrible for new players.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna be on a similar trend to you. I'm gonna give this a high 3. Because I think that being like nailing that dance is a trap for new players.
That's like more of the army than it is like the detachment.
Sure, absolutely. But still, like being able to capitalize on that detachment rule for it. I don't know. Sure. Maybe it makes Fulgrim easier to run because of the oh yeah moment, but like I don't know.
Ryan, what are you thinking?
I gave it a 5 because doing the dance thing is like tricky. Like, it's also like you're not always going to be able to do that, you know, depending on like what army you're facing, if they're spread out and stuff. Yeah.
If your opponent can like counter your army rule, then like you're kind of out of a detachment rule also.
Yeah, it can be countered with the same strategy because they essentially layer on top of each other perfectly. Yeah. The Emperor's Children are still strong because they have like built-in advance and charge and stuff. I could see someone advancing down the field and then just not really having an opportunity to like use their detachment rule.
Sure.
Having Fulgrim have that go through terrain. I've only ever run Fulgrim once, and I think I did get kind of like bogged down trying to get around a building. It was like a bit of a hassle because I couldn't fly over it because his ass was too big to sit on top of it. So I had to go all the way around. So that is nice if you're going to run Fulgrim. But like you said, it's a big, expensive model. But yeah, 5.
That is also my meta score. I gave it a 5. I think there's like some power here. The strats are kind of like generally good. There's some buffs for your melee, some buffs for your shooting. You can boost up your noise marines and flawless blades a little bit. +1 strength in a lot of cases can like end up as +1 to wound, so that's like a nice little bonus there. But again, like it does just kind of like layer on top of your army rule. So if somebody can just like counter your army rule, then boom, you are also out of a detachment rule. So have fun with that. And also, I still think Fulgrim is bad, even though he can go through walls in this detachment. He's still not a good data sheet.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I think I think I give it a 6. I think that this has some interesting tools. I think that big scary models are big scary models, and just giving the big scary model a bonus is great. But yeah, I don't know. It's like not doesn't wow me.
Yeah. Brian?
I give it a 7. It's like you might run into trouble like popping off the fallback in charge stuff, but you're probably still gonna get at least one round of charges off with advance in charge and get bonuses. So you're gonna open up really strong potentially. And like as far as I know, Emperor's Children are doing all right in the meta right now. Like they're pretty strong.
It's pretty much just like Coterie of the Conceited.
Yeah. I'm not sure with Fulgrim. I don't usually take big monolithic models like that. It's not like what I favor because I like some good blue collar noise marines out there turning gigs.
You and your
playing
blue collar guys.
But it definitely being able to move the train makes them better. I also really like being able to put a Lord Exultant inside of Flawless Blades.
Flawless Blades, yeah.
Him being able to like wound anything on a 3-up, it would be pretty nice, especially if you pop his. I think he has like a once per battle, like add 3 to attacks, armor penetration.
Yeah,
so yeah, if you do the Flawless Blades thing with the Lord Exultant and you've done a charge with them, which I think they also have a strat. Did I remember this? Or was I thinking of someone else? They have a strat where you can move through people. I think that was a different detachment, actually. Oh, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you could hit pretty hard with them. I feel like if you open up right, you could do a lot of damage to an army and it'd be hard for them to recover and regain the battlefield from you. But I don't know.
There is one standout stratagem to me in this that I think could be kind of cool is Euphoric Inspiration. Because it almost gives you a 6-inch aura around Fulgrim or like a Demon Prince of reroll charges, which is like kind of cool,
Yeah. That's like maybe the most flavorful detachment. I mean, stratagem.
And I think it's like a tactically sound attachment to or rule 2. You could set up for a big turn with that in a good way. That I think has a lot of power.
I think this detachment's gonna like Demon Princes a lot. Especially if you like
for sure.
The spirit sliver on them, so you're getting +1 strength and attack. So like on top of the detachment rule, you're I think up to like strength 10 AP4 or something on the charge. On a Demon Prince.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Cool. 6.2. You know, it is what it is. I really wanted to like this detachment, but I just couldn't. I did my best. Sorry, Ryan.
I think it could be fun. It doesn't give anything to Noise Marines really, which makes me
like
sad. But
ass shooting stratagem, but yeah.
Yeah.
How about them clowns?
All right, let's talk about the insane clown posse, y'all.
I thought the Serpent's Brood was after the Blood Angels.
Maybe. I don't know. Insane Clown Posse, this is your Harlequins transport detachment. Boons of the Brood, Harlequins mounted in vehicle units have sustained 1 hits on their weapons, and units disembarking from transports have sustained hits 1 until the end of the turn. I'm a big fan of a good transport detachment. Love this stuff. Key of Ghosts gives you a 6-inch scout move on a unit. Great. Love it. There's been several 6-inch scout move things throughout all of these Grotmas detachments, so there's a team.
I think you've almost always picked it as your standout.
Well, because the other ones had like something else attached to them that was like more interesting. This one is like this is just a 6-inch scout and nothing else.
Sure.
Fangs of the Brood is a really interesting stratagem. I think it lets a troop pick all 3 of their like Dance of Death abilities when they go to fight. it gives them reroll 1s to hit, +1 to wound, -1 to be hit, on top of the detachment rule giving them sustained hits when they jump out of a transport. So that's pretty solid. I like it a lot. Jumping right into scores. I gave this one an 8 on sex appeal. Again, like I have a little bit of a bias towards transport detachments here, but it seems like just really fun to play. The Harlequins are like already a pretty kind of tricksy army, and like this really leans into that a lot. Sean.
Is there a Harlequins detachment in the Codex?
Yes, Ghosts of the Webway, I think is what it's called.
And does it do the same thing with the traveling player's ability of giving troop battle line and letting you take 3 of each character?
I don't remember. I will check.
Okay. I will sex appeal anything that lets me play an interesting list build.
Yes,
right?
troops gain battle line.
It does.
OC2, yeah.
Okay.
Ghost does the same thing.
Giving just another option to Harlequins players for me is a win. So that's going to be a 9. And that's going to apply the same to like any niche like sub army, I guess.
Yeah.
That might be my Death Watch player bias, but like,
a little bit.
You know,
gives you more interesting things to kill.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah. I was gonna make a Black-clad Space Marine joke during Death Company Detachment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Harlequin players could always play a clown-clad craft world with Harlequin specialists.
Clown-clad craft world.
Can you kick Ryan off the stream?
Yes. Did you actually want me to?
Please don't. So I give this an 8, just to move on away from me getting fired again, because I give this an 8 because to me this reminded me a lot of Sky Splinter Assault, which was a lot of fun to play. I played that several times. It's fun, and like I'm pretty sure the Harlequins, their transport, you can do the same thing you can with like Vipers in that, where like you can pick units back up after they have jumped out, so you can like fly up, jump out, shoot, jump back in.
Yeah.
Do some shenanigans with that.
Yeah.
It's just fun, little tricksy elf lists.
Yeah. Lore. I give this one a 9. This is great. This is like a very fluffy feeling detachment. I think it's got like some really good flavor and like obviously fits the crazy clown vibe that they've already got going on. So, 9. John?
Same.
Same? Okay, great.
No.
Same as the same as in the name of the serpent. Same. That's one of his names.
Yeah, sure.
And speaking of same, I also said same. 9.
Same? Hell yeah. Let's go, boys. Approachability. Sorry, clowns. 4. Transport detachments are hard. Harlequins are hard. But I do want everybody to keep in mind, when you play Harlequins, when you hobby with Harlequins, you don't have to paint the fucking checkerboards, alright? That is like how GW paints them. You don't have to do that. Don't let anybody tell you have to. That's why it's not a 3.
You don't have to paint the checkerboards. I agree. You can paint polka dots or plaid, flames.
Polka dots are a lot easier.
There's so many other really
or nothing. You could do just like a cool gradient,
Can't do nothing or a cool gradient. Got to be a crazy pattern.
All right,
you can do a nice houndstooth
Sean
pattern.
gave it a 10. I am understanding.
No, that's no. Because here's the thing: this is an Eldari detachment, meaning it's measured against Eldari. This is significantly harder to play and paint than Eldari. So 4.
Okay, great. Ryan?
I gave it a 5.
Damn.
Similar ideas.
Not same.
I maybe think it's less hard to play because I've played a lot of Dark Eldar, so tricksy like glass cannon armies speak to me. One other reason why I would put this as low accessibility is because it is just like it really wants you to play just Harlequins.
You get like what 7 units. To pick
I
from?
will say that like out of the people that I've known that like I've known a lot of people, I guess, that have collected only Harlequins and not all of Eldar.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some people that are into that, but yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's
I'm not
still
saying they're not into it,
pretty,
but
No,
like
pretty
absolutely.
low approachability.
a new player, like I feel like there's gonna be more better deals for like General
Oh,
Eldar.
totally. Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be in like
There's
have
a
a lower
non-zero chance
range.
that they get Legends next edition. So non-zero.
I
I'd be
don't.
surprised if they get Legends.
I would too.
I-
I would too. But
I think it's a non. I agree, it's a non-zero, but I think it's like also
I don't think it's a high
pretty
number.
unlikely.
But it's like
Yeah.
49%. You know.
I could see them maybe becoming just like, oh, like if you have an Eldar army, you can take like a troop and something like that. You know,
I mean, that's
I don't
kind of
think
what they
they're
are
gonna get
now.
full-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they have like a lot more units. They have,
They're
like,
basically just
HQ and
another
stuff.
aspect warrior now. Like that's really what they are.
Yeah,
Kind of.
but I mean, like, there's
Meta.
not like a striking Scorpion Viper, but there is like Harlequin Vipers essentially. But anyway,
Sure. Meta. 7. I think that this has like some really interesting tools. I think that it will be kind of generally useful at just like playing the game of Warhammer 40k. But I do think that this probably gets smoked by a lot of the other pretty like melee centric armies. I think that like
Absolutely.
fight on death and fights first just fucking dumpsters this army. You'll basically get like one turn of action out of all of your units before they just die. So there's something there. I think it will be hard to pilot, but I think the people that figure it out will pilot it to a very high degree of success.
Yeah, I think that that's the key there. That there's the incredibly skilled players are going to get a lot out of this, but like you're missing out on the current Harlequins data sheets are built not to be standalone, right? They're built to be part of an Eldar army. So, like for me, this is a stick.
You still bring Eldar with this. I don't think you run this as pure Harlequins, if I'm being honest.
I agree, but then you don't benefit necessarily from all your army rules and strats and stuff off of it, right?
Sure.
So like you have to fill in the holes with Eldar units, but then they don't benefit from anything here.
Yeah.
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 So because of that, I'm going to give it a 6. I think that there's big upside here to someone piloting it well, but I think that on average, it's going to do fine. Right?
It'll do fine. Brian?
I gave it an 8.
Okay.
I think in the right hands, with some of the enhancements and abilities they have, like there's gonna be a lot of sustained lethal damage to shots streaking across the battlefield at your armies with its rules. And like they are elves, so they are fragile, but they all have 4 invulnerable saves. They're in some ways a little stickier than other like Eldar things, especially if you have like Trickster's Grace going, subtract 1 to hit. You still need to have like a practiced hand with them, and like they probably will shine the best with, I would guess, something like a little tougher as like a anchor to the army, like Wraith units perhaps, to like distract and like take some heat and look big and menacing, while the Harlequins sweep around and like take the field.
Sure.
Which if they're sacrificial, Wraith Lords, Wraith Guard, just to like grab attention and be like, oh, look out. And if they're like, sort of your sacrificial units, then them not getting the bonus from detachments is less of an issue to some extent, I guess. They're just there to like be meat. But yeah, I think it could do some work, but you'd have to know what you're doing.
Yeah. Point of order. Also, they're Eldari, not elves. GW.
Anyway, moving on. Saga of the Great Wolf. They made Gladius for furries, y'all.
Jordan, how do you feel about this one?
That's like almost exactly what I wrote. Wolf Doctrine was my first note.
Yeah, that's the
Jordan,
same as Gladius for furries.
How do you feel about this one? And is this the first Space Wolves detachment you're going to run on the channel?
What? What do you mean? I've run Space Wolves already. What? What are you saying?
Well, we haven't run them since the new codex.
Yes, I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I am thinking about running this one on the 22nd though for our arena match, our Coliseum game. Because heavily considering it, but it does really kind of like want you to run Logan Grimnar, but I don't know if I'm gonna. Speaking of, our detachment role here is Master of Wolves. You can select one of the hunting pack abilities in your command phase, and it's active for all your dudes until your next command phase. There are 3 of them. You have Encircling Jaws, which lets you reroll advanced and charge rolls. You have Hunter's Eye, which gives you a +1 to hit with ranged weapons. And Ferocious Strike, when you select that unit to fight, you can select lethal or sustained hits, which is just very nice and useful. If you have Logan Grimnar in your army, once per battle, you can pick one of the ones that you've already picked. So, very similar to like the Gladius detachments, you can only pick each of these once per game. Logan Grimnar lets you get around that one time.
Does that mean you get 4 turns of it then with Logan?
Yes.
Or you still okay?
Yes. So you're probably gonna pick the Ferocious Strike one twice, almost every time, if I had to guess. The lethal or
Yeah,
sustained.
I could see reason to do like
There's edge cases for taking the other ones.
like
I think you're
Encircling
always
Jaws,
going to take that one twice.
because if Logan dies by turn 4, right, and you're counting on like turn 3 and 4 or turn 2 and 4 doing Ferocious Strike, you know.
He's a tough nut to crack, but yeah.
Yeah, but he could be targeted down, you know.
Yeah. Anything.
So
yeah. So
get-
as far as what?
You can get 5 turns with 1 unit with the one of the strats.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, but that's true in Gladius and
Similar to
Deathwatch
Gladius.
too.
Yeah.
This like literally almost word for word is just like Gladius for Space Wolves.
Yeah.
To like some degree. But as far as enhancements, I liked Howlmaw, Wolf Priest. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one enemy within 6 inches. And you take a Battle Shock test, subtracting 1 from the result, because you know how much I love Battle Shock rules. So, yeah. I'm just kidding. In case I wasn't
If you
completely
play 40k long
Um,
enough, you become refined enough to do battle shock.
Skjald's Foretelling. Skjald, I guess that's how you say that, right? Skjald.
Yeah.
Wolfguard battle leader. While they're leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have lance. There's your pretty easy to get +1 to wound because you're gonna be charging a lot. Believe it or not.
Mhm.
Getting that on some head takers is gonna be real spicy, and I fucking love head takers, so I love that. Strats. I don't know if any of them were like super duper interesting to me. Battle Instincts is like theoretically interesting, where when you get shot, you can move d6 inches, but like it's d6, so you move 1 inch and then what? So yeah, not great, but pretty cool.
I like Fenrisian Cavalry for Bjorn and Wolfcav. Or Wolfcav even still
Ferocity.
here?
Interesting ferocity, yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Cavalry.
Cavalry.
Oh, my brain was thinking
Yeah.
too far ahead of itself. I like that that's an option for those units.
I do too. Yeah, that one is also quite interesting. It mitigates a lot of the problems with Thunderwolf Cavalry. And it helps your dreadnoughts a lot, which I really like the Space Wolves dreadnoughts, even if they're not all very good.
And just like regular dreadnoughts are great.
Yeah. Because of all of those things, I give it an 8 on the sex appeal. I love Thundercav. I love all their dreadnoughts. This makes them all better. I still am not the hugest fan of it really wanting you to take Logan Grimnar, even though, again, fucking sick model. I don't love detachments that, like, you only get part of the rule if you take a named character.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it. I actually am giving it a 9 because I think that this. Again, I don't want to be forced into taking the named character, but I think that this detachment is still really good and really flavorful and fun without him. Right? Like you don't lose anything.
I mean, you do. You lose.
I mean, you do, but like compared to Gladius, right? I like, but and that's the other thing. I love Gladius. Black Spear Task Force is also just Gladius.
Yeah.
Gladius Plus. The Black Templars Grotmas from last year is just Gladius Plus.
Sure.
Well, Gladius, but different, I guess. I don't know. It also doesn't limit you to 3 turns, so that's the benefit there. But yeah, I like the Doctrine style detachments, and I miss those from 9th being like the core thing of Space Marines. So it gets big marks for me from that.
Cool. Ryan?
Yeah, initially I wasn't terribly hot on this because of force name character, not force, but like encourage name character, and it's just wolf doctrines. But the things that brought it back for me, one of them was Grimnar's Mark. I like that you can like take your own Terminator captain in the Wolfguard Terminators now.
It does finally let you attach a fucking vanilla Space Marine character to a Space Wolves unit.
Wild.
Yeah. I liked that, and I really like Fenrisian Ferocity. I just love the idea of like a Space Wolf Dreadnought, like seeing like a big enemy behind the front lines and being like, "I'm coming for you," and just ignoring the infantry and just running through them, and they're like, "Oh shit," and just like charging the thing that he wants to fight because he's like, an old grizzled dude in a can.
All right, so you know how I put LEDs and stuff in dreadnoughts?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a Woody pull string. There's a snake in my boot thing, but it's Ryan saying,
"Just gonna take that clip
I'm
of
coming
Ryan.
for you."
Where'd you land
Ryan,
on
what's
the
your
score?
Oh shit! Yeah, I guess should tell you that. I gave it an 8.
Hell yeah.
Sick. That's Space Wolf number.
As far as lore, I gave this also an 8. It's like, it's real close to like being, I think, a 10 to me. But there are, like, to some extent, this is Gladius, but not. Like the foe foreseen is just Armor of Contempt, kind of, but
yeah,
not called Armor of Contempt.
Oh, it doesn't have armor. Do the Space Wolf detachments all have Armor of Contempt, don't they?
I don't think all of them. I don't remember off the top of my head.
That's fine. You don't have to look.
But yeah, it's like Armor of Contempt, but not called Armor of Contempt.
But, Sean, did you say 8 was the Legion number for Space Wolves a second ago?
Yeah, I was fucking with you.
Oh, okay. Fuck successful.
Yeah. Lore, I also 8 is a solid score for lore. This like is a pretty good all around Space Wolves attachment for me, and like it feels fun and flavorful. I think it'd be a 9 if it wasn't for the Grimnar thing, But but it's flavored around Master of Wolves, so like I don't know, like maybe it should.
He is the Great Wolf, and it's the Saga of the Great Wolf.
Yeah,
it's just like a trend that I don't love.
Sure, and like if you're playing something like Wolf Spear, like you are, right? Like then you don't want to bring Logan,
I mean, I'm bringing Logan, just not actually Logan.
Just not as
Gogan Limnar.
Grogan.
I give it a 9. It's angry wolves doing angry wolf things. It's got some nice flavor in it. And like as much as I don't like the hero, it is like his saga, so
yeah,
it works for that.
Saga of the Great Wolf. Cool.
So yeah.
Approachability, believe it or not, also an 8. This is like a pretty good general all-around detachment. Like Logan Grimnar again. Like you want to take him. Not an easy model to build or paint for newbies. So you kind of like,
but significantly easier to build or paint than a Demon Primarch.
Correct. Yes, that is absolutely true.
So,
but it's got like a pretty wide toolbox to let you kind of run whatever you want to run. And finally, being able to fucking attach a vanilla Space Marine Terminator captain to your Wolfguard Terminators, just like adds a little bit to your collection and lets you run the Leviathan Terminator captain without feeling bad about it.
Is there a Space Wolves Terminator character?
Sure isn't. I mean, Logan Grimnar, but
Okay,
And
but there
there's
isn't.
no non-named ones.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also
I was gonna
am
say.
sticking with the Space Wolf number of 8.
Great.
Because I agree with you on all points. And I know that's kind of counterintuitive because we said, hey, what's his name? Fucking Fulgrim is hard to paint. Logan is also hard to paint, but like again, significantly easier than a Demon Primarch.
Ryan?
I gave it a 7. Oh, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty similar to like the most vanilla Space Marine boys. So if someone's like got their start as Ultramarines and they're like, I want to do something that's actually fun and has character, and decide to go Space Wolves, then it's an easy transition.
Mm-hmm.
They do have like a lot of custom models, so I don't know. I gave it a 7 because the hero thing, and I don't know, they got like extra rules to keep up with, so it's a little less approachable, I suppose,
You
but
heard it here, folks.
not too bad.
Detachments are X rules. Nailed it.
Well, no. I mean, like the Space Wolf
fucking
units.
I kid.
Well, they have the same number of rules as any other units, but yeah.
Well, like raw.
It's additional
Space
data
Marines,
sheets
just
that
like
you have
intercessors.
to
Yeah.
I got you.
Oh.
Meta. I kind of like went a little back and forth with myself on this one for a little bit. I ended up on a 7. At the end of the day, I think that this is like just a less useful Gladius. I think the buffs that you get out of Gladius are just a lot better than these, but these are still pretty solid. Like +1 to hit at range. I mean, maybe I'd probably be advancing and shooting more often than I care about a +1 to hit at range with Space Wolves. And I'd rather have access to advance and charge than reroll advances and charges. So I think that this is like not bad. It's still got a decent amount of utility for it. I think you have better options.
Yeah, I think like getting assault because tactical or Gladius gives you what assault, advance and charge,
Fall back and shoot and charge.
fall back and shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I think that those for any army, any Space Marine army, like they're the best 3 options.
Yeah.
For like 90% of Space Marine armies.
Yeah.
So I think anything trying to do the like I think the only one that comes close is Black Spear Task Force. To coming close to the same utility, but because it's giving you similar abilities to Gladius, it's better Gladius. It like almost
better Gladius.
But only if you're running fucking Deathwatch units.
Yeah.
So take it or leave it because it doesn't affect standard Space Marine units. So like I'm with you on the 7, but I'm gonna give it a 6 because I think again still.
So you're not with me on the 7. You lied.
I'm with you for your reasoning. But I think it like unless you really want to put that leader, like unless you're trying to run a bunch of Terminators or like unless this is like hitting a niche you're trying to do, I think that you're better off playing Gladius. Yeah.
Oh hey, look, we both hit a 7.8 as our final score, so I'll take it.
Hell yeah, brother.
Ryan?
I give it an 8.
Right. Oh, that doesn't get you to 7.8.
Oh no.
Believe it or not,
it seems pretty solid to me, and like the regular doctrines are good, but like some of the Space Wolf units make you not care. Like Blood Claws have built-in advance and charge.
That's fair.
So like I think they could benefit from some of the stuff in this more than regular doctrines.
Yeah.
Totally. I don't know. I feel like this you could have a very aggressive army with this. I like redeploying 3 units from your army, possibly setting them up in strategic reserves. Maybe that's just the sneaky Drukari guy in me.
That's just you being sneaky.
Being able to like charge some heavy stuff through enemy units, like canceling their screening ability, seems very strong to me. Oh no, it's got like a toolkit that I think could really do some work on the field with some pretty hard hitting units.
Yeah, this is definitely one for sure
I'm
that like I'm kind of having trouble sussing out at first glance, and I would need to play it.
I think
Yeah.
that's really fair. I think that's yeah.
I'm not as familiar with like all the Space Wolf units and what they can do beyond like sort of the basic Blood Claws and Great Hunters and stuff. So take it with a grain of salt. But I don't know.
There's like a whole bunch of moving parts on this one, and like one thing that always makes this hard is like we don't have when we do these, we don't reference points for the enhancements, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
that is always kind of a little bit of a weird thing because enhancements might be over or under costed, which is going to make them more or less useful, which is going to really affect the like meta viability of it. I think overall,
they're always changing.
and points are always changing.
Yeah.
I think overall, this set of Grotmas detachments was really good from a flavor and fun standpoint.
Yeah, and that's what Grotmas detachments should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I do, however, think that it is a missed opportunity for them to only do 6. I'm curious as to why these 6.
Well, because these are the ones that were going to come out with the balanced data slate, and they were just like, "Well, you motherfuckers are complaining, so here they are early."
But I guess why, right? Like, why only? Like, why these 6 for the balanced data slate? Were these 6 armies that needed them?
They're getting ready for 11th edition, right? So like, they're not really worried about writing more rules for 10th at the moment.
I understand, but like before when we've seen, my point is, before when we've seen detachments with balanced data slates, it's because the armies have needed them, right?
Well, I don't know if that's always true.
I think usually, I could be mistaken on that, but it's felt like they've filled a certain niche that was needed.
The Tyranids need an all warriors detachment. Is that what they were lacking?
No. But it feels
Drukhari did need Sky Splinter when they got it. That was
like that's a great
helpful.
example. That's really the big one that comes to mind. Same thing with like the Deathwatch one was going to be coming out with the BDS. Like when it happened, they threw it in with
Deathwatch is kind of a special case,
right? And that's what I'm saying, right? Like we haven't seen that many detachments get dropped with balanced data slates. So why these 6? Are there other armies that need detachments that didn't get them?
I mean, I honestly think that's just like a little bit too deep of a way to think about it. They just like had these attachments in the bank where like, here go crazy kids. I don't think there's anything deeper to it than that.
Sure, maybe.
I mean, Nightmare Hunt was a direct personal Christmas gift to me, obviously.
Yeah.
James did that just for me.
James Workshop broke into your house and left you this gift.
Yeah.
Also, that like also leaves it does leave a little bit of a sour taste for me that now every Space Marine chapter has their own like character detachment, except the 2 that
does every single one has one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really kept up with Space Marine detachments.
Oh, I guess that's on.
First
that's technically wrong because Blood Angels didn't get a character when they got Death Company. But
I mean, I guess technically, if you want to get into it, Dark Angels don't really have one either.
Isn't didn't they do one for the Lion?
No.
Like,
are you thinking of Wrath of the Rock?
I'm thinking of Wrath of the Rock.
That was like just a super combined arms detachment that like plays into all 3 wings. It doesn't really have anything to do with the Lion.
Okay, well then, yeah. Hey, give our
Space Marines need more stuff.
Please give the 3 black-clad Space Marine armies, and those 3 black-clad Space Marine armies being Deathwatch, Templars, and Dark Angels.
But also, like, Chaos Space Marines, I think, now have 11 detachments.
Yeah, they have a ton.
And you still have armies that have like 4 total,
right?
Which is kind of insane.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that's a little silly. But anyway, yeah, this round of Grotmas detachments was pretty solid. We'll see if we get more. I have my doubts.
I don't think we'll get more for Grotmas.
Yeah.
So my theory is that
we're getting 500 worlds.
Yeah. So that I was gonna say that's my theory is that these are armies that are absent from 500 Worlds in some way, shape, or form.
Well, hold on. Do you know 500 Worlds is only Space Marines and Necrons detachments, right?
This round, but we're gonna get multiple books for it.
No.
Is that it?
There
Really?
is a book that is the detachments, and that book has only Space Marines and Necrons detachments in it.
Right, but I was under the impression that it was going to be like the Psychic Awakening thing, where there will be a second wave of
Oh,
books,
maybe.
and then a
I
third
don't think
wave.
they've confirmed any of that.
Sure, yeah, I know. I guess that's just my theory because that's what they do at the end of every edition.
Maybe.
I haven't been
Because they
keeping
need
up with it. I've
releases.
been
Yeah.
distracted.
We'll see. Well, we have like 6 months probably until 11th edition, so we'll enjoy those 6 months. I hope you all enjoy your nights, and we'll see you guys on Monday when we're going to be debuting the freshly nerfed Sisters of Battle against the Drukari. So have a good night, everyone.